What is up, Blasianaires and Blasianettes? I'm going to be giving you guys my quick review for The Death of Superman, which is based off of the graphic novel that has shook the world unlike anything ever before and after. I'm speaking from experience. I am scarred for life because of this graphic novel. And I'm just going to cut right to the chase. This is the most accurate take on the story arc that we've ever gotten before. It took us almost over 20 years to get to this. And it's like, damn it, what the other, takes at the other attempts, I'm like, why couldn't they just stay true to the story? I mean, granted, this movie does add, a little bit of its own ideas into the mix, and but at the same time, it still stayed true to its goal. It did not shy away from the goal, which is to stay as true to the story arc as possible. And that just, makes me happy, as a Superman fan. It's like, yes, when I thought this movie was never going to get here, like, they're never going to get it right. They're never going to get it right. And I have to say, this movie overall got it right. And also, I mean, I loved how the pacing was with this movie. It didn't just jump right to it, like with Superman Doomsday, where they try to cram, all that entire story arc into one, and then where in the first, few minutes, Superman and Doomsday fight, and then, and then through the most of the movie, it is boring, freaking boring. And then we get an awesome final act, and it's short-lived. And that's Superman Doomsday in a nutshell. And don't get me started on Batman v Superman. Don't get me started on that. Oh my gosh. I mean, those movies were good in their own way, but as far as staying true to this story, they're just like letdowns. And but yeah, back to this movie. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it really did push the envelope on the violence too. Where it's like, okay, when I see Doomsday, I mean, he just looking at him, the way they drew, I mean, just the design of him in this movie just scares. It's scary. I mean, looking in his eyes. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh. Oh. And I mean, granted, I mean the way Doomsday has looked over the years, when I mean it's cool. It's a cool look. I mean, it looks awesome. I mean, what we've had before, and some not so awesome. But here, I loved how he looked, and man, I mean, I really, when I look at this version of the creature, and I see him roaming around the streets, and I'm in the middle of that, I will run like hell. But yeah, I mean, I loved how they have all the heavy hitters of the Justice League in this movie, and it's them fighting Doomsday at first, as opposed to other members in the graphic novels. I mean, I liked how they threw them into the mix, and just to show you how much of a threat this dude really is, before it gets down to just him and Superman mano a mano. And I loved how they showed us, where we focus also on Superman's relationship with Lois and how they're growing closer. That way it will hit harder when it gets down to, when it gets to the title of the movie. And sure enough, it did hit me when it got there. It really did. I'm like, oh man. And I really didn't feel that in Superman Doomsday. I'm like, that was quick. Okay. I mean, I did like the fight. I did, but the movie overall, Superman Doomsday, was just boring. And Batman v Superman, I mean, if the DC universe just took their time with these characters and the story and the patterns, where we have a Justice League movie first, and then they add Doomsday into the mix afterwards, that would have been the best take on this story ever. But they dropped the ball. So this movie picked up the ball and did a slam dunk. And Man, and it's the first movie of a two-parter, which is like if you are fans of, I mean, if you read the comics, you know what comes after, and that will be the second movie. And with that all being said, I mean, this movie really did, you know, it did what it's supposed to do, and and then it added something new to it as well, and it didn't shy away from what they what they needed to do. And I did have nitpicks with it, and it's not better than the graphic novel, but it's better than the other attempts that we have gotten before. And one of the nitpicks is, which is, you know, like with the New 52 look, especially with Superman, I'm not a fan of. I mean, I hate that fucking turtleneck. I never liked it. And I get it. It looks Kryptonian. It looks like how Kryptonians, you know, like dressed. And I mean, I respect, you know, like that, you know, that story behind the look and stuff. But I still don't fucking like it. It's, you know, for the look of Superman, I just don't like it. I mean, I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea. But at times, you know, like especially with his throwdown with Doomsday, I warmed up to it. And with the voice casting, like with Rainn Wilson, I mean, I couldn't buy into the fact that that is the voice of Lex Luthor. It's not the worst, but still, I just couldn't wrap my brain around it. I just couldn't do it. If it were up to me, it would be Tim Daly, Kevin Conroy, Clancy Brown, all those guys voicing these characters in this movie. That's how I would have handled it. It would have been more, you know, it would have been awesome if, you know, if they added their voices onto it. But still, I mean, the other people who are voicing these characters did pretty well. Not to mention Jerry O'Connell. I mean, like, when I heard that voice, I heard no signs of him as no sign of Jerry O'Connell in his performance. I'm like, wow. You know, I kind of had concerns when I heard that he did voice him. I mean, like, I think this is his second time voicing Superman, if I'm not mistaken. Like, okay, did a good job. And and they treated it like a sequel to another animated movie that they've done before. I mean, when you can see just by the design alone, I'm like, okay, all right. But yeah, I mean, still, with that all being said, this movie gets 4 solid cheer spins out of 5. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 epic solid cheer spins. And sit through the credits. I mean, like, it is worth it. Sit through the whole credits. I mean, you're in for something good there. And they just released a trailer for the second part, you know, like for this 2-parter, and I'll be reacting to that pretty soon. I'm like, I'm not reacting to it. I gotta watch this movie first. And I finally did, and I really was satisfied with it overall, you know, despite the nitpicks that I had with it. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed my review for The Death of Superman, make sure you thumb up the video and click subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you for watching, and click the bell icon so you can get notified when I upload new videos. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, y'all.